Hi guys, it's Nick Varios and welcome back to Fashion School with Nick Varios. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to drape a jersey couture wrap dress, just like this one. Okay, in order to begin your drape, you're going to need the following. Of course, you're going to need a form. You're going to need pins. You're also going to need fabric shears or scissors, marking tape or twill tape, masking tape as well, and a measuring tape. And then finally, two things, a Sharpie or a marker, and then the jersey, the knit jersey to drape with. All right? Now, what I like in terms of knit jersey, I'm going to show you right here. Looks like this, okay? See? It's like a knit jersey. I call it kind of like a disco jersey. Okay, it's stretchy and it's not really like the t-shirt knit jersey. So when you go out there to look for fabric, first of all, it shouldn't be expensive. Okay, so look for something that's like $2.99. It's cheaper, yay, all right? But make sure it's liquidy and has almost the same feel as, for example, a silk jersey. Now, first things first, you want to do the grain line. See, I've already marked it. You guys know what to do with the grain line. Make sure that grain line is right in the middle. I did it with a Sharpie, and then just draw it. Use a ruler, draw it, and make sure it's parallel to your selvage. It just goes up and down, all right? So now, to start with, we're gonna do one side of the gown first. Notice that this gown has two sides. It has sort of a flat side like a tank top, and then the other's drapey couture side. So I'm going to show you first how to do this side of the dress. Now, in order to do so, you should begin to mark your form. Mark the neckline and the armhole. Where do you want that neckline? That's what I mean. And then the armhole right here. So right here and right here. So I'm going to bring the form over to show you how to do that. Get a piece of twill tape. You can get color tape. I have black right here, and then we're going to do the neckline. Where do you want the neckline? So start at the shoulder. I'm going to start right here, right at the top, pin it down, and then now, little by little, just sort of feel out where you want that neckline, okay? Now this is going to help you when you're draping, so you know where to mark that neckline, okay? So keep going, and I'm going to put a pin there, and I'm going to go right to the waist, to the side right here, because it is a wrap dress, so it wraps around, okay? So now we've done that neckline right here. See, that represents this, okay? And then now the armhole. Take your twill tape right here, and then I start a little bit inside, right here at the shoulder, okay? And then just curve it around, pin, pin, all right? And then go about an inch below the arm plate, all right? That will represent basically where the side seam should end, the armpit right there, okay? So leave it. You've got it marked. Mark and mark. Now we can begin draping this side of the dress, all right? Are you guys ready? Get your muslin. All right, so have your muslin. Take your muslin, and by the way, I use a piece that is about 60 inches long and about 60 inches wide as well. If you can, then you'll be really, really lucky. That'd be great. But I know sometimes the knit jersey can only be 45. But try and find one that is 60 wide and 60 long. And then what I did is I cut it in half. One half will be for one side and the other half will be for the other. Got it? Okay. So take your one side that you've prepared already with your grain line. Use the grain line to help you. That'll be right down the center. So lift it up. Make sure to go past the neck like that, and then pin down the center front. Just pin down the center front. You can feel it out. You can feel it out. Okay, there we are. And then just keep pinning down the center front. Just like that. And then again, with pinning, make sure not to stab. Don't go straight, okay? Go slightly at an angle, and I like to pin in intervals of about an inch to an inch and a half, all right? So I'm just pinning down the front. Okay, and that will keep my muslin balanced, okay? It'll be right there with that grain line. Okay, so we're pinning, and I'm just gonna pin to the bottom of the form, all right? Okay, one more pin. There we are. All right. Now, to help you with this, I suggest also pinning in the shoulder. Just pinning it to hold the fabric there. All right. Do that on one side and then do this on the other. Now, when you do, smooth it out. Okay. So I'm going to do that right there. So now it's there. It's held. Now take your scissors. Okay. Take them and then cut right down the middle. Just like that. All right, and then cut sideways. You got it? So now you have that. Okay, now make sure this is still straight. This is why you pin down the center front. So now we're gonna work with one side. Smooth this over at the waist, to the waist, and then to the side seam. So just smooth it over. You do not want to pull. There's always a tendency, especially if you're a beginning draper, and also especially with jersey, that you want to go, oh, like this. You want to tight, tight, tight. You don't want to tight, 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 okay? You just want to smooth. Use your hands to smooth it, to drape it, all right? Once you've established that you like that, pin. Now, sometimes with this jersey, because it's very satiny and stretchy, you might want to pin going like this, going in and then out, just like that. Do you see that? That will really hold it down as opposed to the regular pinning like this. So you might want to do that. That's just a little suggestion, okay? So keep pinning down the side. Keep pinning down the side. Always check that your center front has not shifted, all right? Because a lot of times when you're doing this, you forget and you pull, 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 and sometimes, look, the center front will start pulling, see? You don't want that, okay? You want to make sure that that stays straight, okay? So just pin down the side and keep pinning until you get to the bottom of the form. There we are, okay? Good. Now, see this excess? What do you think we're going to do? What? We're going to cut it, okay? So now, watch. Okay? So I've cut it here, and then look, cut, cut. Now be careful, just cut to the center front right there. Now we're going to drape the rest right here. Now I want to show you something. Here is this side, okay? You got this side, so you want to smooth it. Again, don't pull. Keep this center, just drape it to the side, right there to the waist, okay? And then pin and just hold it down, all right? Now we've got the bust area. Now a lot of times with knit, you can really pull it and make it just smooth, and then a lot of times you have excess. You really don't want to put a dart in this knit jersey dress, but sometimes you have to, all right? But what I want to do is I want to add gathers. So I want to transfer this excess that you see here into the gather. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to lift up. So I'm going to smooth that out. Do you see how smooth that is? Otherwise, if I don't, look, there's excess. So I'm going to lift this up and smooth. Lift that up, smooth, and pin right on the side seam. Okay, see, we've done that. So now you've got this extra here. What do you do with it? You transfer that extra that was here, the dart, and you create a little gathering right up top, okay? So that's what I'm gonna do right here. I'm just gonna take the excess and gather. Very pretty. See? See how pretty that is? Right there. And then when you do that, when you decide you like it, then go ahead and pin. Now because it's gathered and it's this jersey, you might need a lot of pins for this, okay? So I'm gonna get some more pins right here. Now a good rule of thumb for gathering is you wanna do 2 to 1 or 3 to 1. What does that mean? If you want your shoulder to be finished at 2 inches, like that's the finished width, then the amount of gathering you want is 4 inches, double. 2 to 1, all right? Now if you want 3 to 1, then you want it 3 times. So that would be 2, 4, 6 inches, okay? So that is the amount. It's really easy. Now here's another trick. To hold down the gathering, take a piece of masking tape, all right? I'm gonna cut it out, and like this, and hunker it down, just like that. Just hunker it down, all right? And that helps it stay there. Now look, we've almost got our side. Finally, the last thing you want to do is just pin the rest of your side seam right here. Again, do not pull. You want to just smooth. Just smooth it. Just smooth it, okay? So you're going to do the rest of the side seam. And then last but not least, just cut the excess, okay? So I'm gonna cut the excess now. In some of my other videos, I showed you a little trick, like the clip and all right? And that releases tension. So notice here, notice a little bit of tension right there. So what I like to do is I like to clip down, watch. Smooth. Isn't that fabulous? So cut the excess. Don't cut too close to the side seam, all right, because you need that. And then I'm going to cut the rest right here. Now finally, get your Sharpie and mark it. So right here at the shoulder, mark where the shoulders are, where the gathers, all right, and where you marked. Now, make sure, this is another trick, write down what your finished measurement is before you take that out, because sometimes you take out the gathering and you're like, oh my God, wait, what was the finished measurement? All right, you want to do that. So measure, and it's 3 inches. So write that down, just go 3 inches. Because when you open that up, it ain't gonna be 3 inches. It's gonna be like 6, all right, or more. So that will remind you that you need to gather to 3 inches. Simple, all right? So then finish marking the neckline. I like to do a broken line. And see, that's why you needed that twill tape. That helps you to know where your neckline was. So you go right to here. There's your neckline right there. The side seam is easy because you can just follow the form right there. And then do the same thing here. Side seam, see, I'm following the form. Waist, mark your waist. Mark your side seam right here. And then finally your armhole, okay? All right, we've done one side. Now we're ready for the fun stuff, and that's draping the couture side. Okay, so now I've got my second piece of muslin, my disco jersey, and I've got the grain line drawn in it, just like the center front grain line. But for this side of the drape, this couture cowl drape side, you're not really going to need that grain line to drape. That's really more importantly to make the pattern afterwards, okay? So kind of disregard the grain line. What is important to begin this drape is your selvage, and that's the finished edge of your muslin, quote unquote, your jersey, your disco jersey, okay? So let's begin draping. So for this side, we want to create this beautiful cowl gathered drape. So you want to use the selvage, that's the finished side right here. You want to take about this much, all right? It's about the same length of your torso. Take about this much, and you want to go a little above the shoulder because you're going to pin it down there, but you need extra. And then what we're going to do, this is what we're going to do, so you know what you're going to do. You're going to do this. See? You're going to take this and then cowl drape it over to the side, okay? So first, make sure it's a little above the shoulder, and then pin it down. And make sure to put a couple pins. And when I mean a couple, I mean 3. Okay, just to make sure that it's hunkered down. Okay, good. It's not doing anything. It's not going anywhere. Now we can begin our couture drape. So take your jersey and take your hand and do this. Kind of slightly pull, all right, to create this wave, to create the cowl. And you want to create this beautiful cowl, just like that, all right? So I'm going to do that again. Here, it's straight, then take your hand and go like that. All right, and so you create that. This is where you become the designer, the draper. All right, and then I like that. You don't want to pull. You don't want to do that. Okay, you want to create this cowl. That's what really takes it to another level. This beautiful shape right there. It's kind of a Grecian goddess look. All right, so I'm going to take that. And I'm going to see if I like that. Yes, I do. So then what you want to do is use your hand to then pin it down on the side. All right, pin right there. So you've got the first. Now you're going to use both hands. You got to be ambidextrous for this one because you're going to use one hand to gather it, to hand drape it, to hand gather it. And you want to just gather it up and use the other one. Do you see my fingers right here? Use the other one to help you with that. So you're going to do that and just hand gather as much as you want to. I've got a bit of a space here, about 8 inches, okay? So I'm gonna try and gather that much up here. So just lightly with your hands, just drape it, gather it, okay? But make sure you're not pulling. Make sure that this keeps its wavy look right there, okay? It's like waves, like water waves, okay? Very liquidy. So you wanna just keep that going. All right, I'm not pulling. All I'm doing is slightly lifting with my fingers. All right, so I'm gathering and pinning. Gather, pin. Just keep gathering, lift up, and pin. And again, you want to go about 2 or 3 to 1. So if you want to finish at about 8 inches here, then you want to do about 16 inches worth of gathering, okay? So just keep pinning and gather a little more, create a little more waves. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Now that's a drape, okay? So just keep doing that. And I like this where it's at, okay? So we like that. Now that you've done that, now go back to the top and the shoulder. Now if you notice here in the shoulder, there's gathering here, there's also gathering on this side. So what I'm gonna do, this helps because see, look, it's kind of flat. Do you guys see that? So what I wanna do is, look, by gathering it, I'm lifting over with my hand, I'm hand draping again, see? Look, see what I'm doing? Look at that. Gorgeous, okay? So with my hand up here, I'm just gonna lightly gather and pin. Gather and pin. And I would say go 2 to 1. So if your finished measurement at the shoulder is 3, then gather about 6, 7 inches. But look at what it's doing. I'm covering the bust, creating this gorgeous drape right there, all right? So I'm just continuing, and I think I like that so far. I'm gonna take a look and see, and yeah, looks good to me. Look at that. All right. So now we're ready to smooth and drape the side. So what you want to do is just smooth. You don't want to pull. Why? Because this is a mistake that a lot of beginning drapers do. They pull. Watch what happens when you pull. Goodbye. The beauty is gone. All right. So what you want to do is just keep that and then slightly just smooth. Just smooth over. Smooth over to the side. That's it. See how I'm not pulling? I'm just walking it. My fingers are doing the walking. The fabric is talking to you, all right? It's talking to you and saying, don't pull. Smooth. So you want to just smooth and pin. And I pin about 1 inch, 1.5 inch intervals. Just pin down the side. You don't want to lose this drape. You don't want to lose this right here, all right? So just smooth a little bit right there. And then here. Pin, and just keep pinning down the side, all right? Just keep pinning, and I keep looking at the front just to make sure that I'm not ruining the drape, all right? Because a lot of times you can be pinning here and draping and smoothing, and then all of a sudden you look at the front of your drape and you're like, what happened? All right, so you want to keep going this and this, this and this, all right? So just keep doing that. Pin down the side to the bottom of the form and the dress, and I think we're good right there. All right, good. Now, in order to help you, you might want to clip. You might want to clip right here to get rid of the ease. Okay, so I'm gonna just take my scissors and go right here, and then do a little clip and all, and then get rid of the excess right here. So I'm just gonna cut this off already, all right? Don't cut too close. That's another mistake that you can make, all right? You wanna leave a little bit of excess fabric beyond the side seam, all right? I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm leaving about 2 to 3 inches extra, okay? So just keep doing that, and then I'm gonna look over here, and yes, I love it. Grecian goddess, all right? So then now, you want to just smooth the rest, all right? Because we want this drapey, but we want this flat. So just pin. Pin the rest of your dress right here. All right, and I think we're good right there. Okay, now we've got some excess fabric right here, a lot of it, in fact. So you can cut this. So hold it, and then just cut it. Okay, be careful. Don't cut too close, all right? So we did that. Nice. Okay, so we're almost done. Now we've got the marking, okay? So you want to mark your shoulders. So go up here, mark your shoulders. Mark your armhole. All right. Mark your side seam. Mark the waist, the side seam right there. Okay, and then now to this side, make sure to mark horizontally like this, and then mark where your gathers are. Right there, and then where your gathers end, put a mark right there so you know where your gathers begin and where they end, and then just continue marking down the side seam to the bottom of the dress, okay? Now here's another trick to hold down the gathers. Get your masking tape and then just tape it, okay? Tape it down. So this will help you with the gathers. Just tape these down here and then tape down at the shoulder as well. Okay, and that'll help you. And also mark what the finished measurement is. Here, I want 3 inches, all right? And then here, I said 8 inches. So then just mark 8 inches here. Just put an 8 right there. So you know that's what that gathering is supposed to be. Finished 8 inches, all right? Finally, just cut the hem. All right, and one final look. Let's see, nice. All right, here we go. We've got it, our gathered jersey couture wrap dress. Drape. Thanks for tuning in to Fashion School with Nick Varios. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And for more Nick tips and tricks, get my book, A Passion for Fashion. It's available on Amazon.com.